Who is the 1.1 overall in fantasy football 2021? Is it Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, maybe other? You be the judge in the comments below. I want to hear your take, but I'm breaking it all down. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.
Take a lap.
This one's pretty easy for me, and I haven't wavered much at all off-season long, and the off-season's been 2 months going. We start everything on January 1. I don't know about you, but for 2 months I've been sitting here stewing on this topic with you over and over, and yet I get asked this question every darn day. So here I am, talking 1.1 again. Yay. Just kidding. I can think of nothing better that I want to do right now than break this topic down. So buckle up. McCaffrey. The bottom line is that we're lucky. We're fortunate in fantasy football right now where we have super handcuffs attached to all three of the top three overall players in 2021 fantasy football. We have McCaffrey and Mike Davis, maybe because Mike Davis is a free agent. We'll attack that in a minute. And we can talk about why McCaffrey may not be the locked-in running back number one overall, if Mike Davis isn't in Carolina in 2021. You have Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. You have Alvin Kamara and Lat Murray. And I know what the novice is going to say. Smitty.
You like all backups, don't you?
No, these are super handcuffs. It's ironic that we're looking at three super handcuffs attached to every one of these names, the top three overall. In order, they all have a super handcuff. It's not usual, but every single one of these elite running backs has a running back. Let me define super handcuff for you real quick. A running back that could be top 5 to 10 overall if put into the lineup for his team for half a season, whatever. It's unusual. It's very, very unusual. And what it really means is that you can't really go wrong with Cook, Mattison, McCaffrey, Mike Davis if he returns to Carolina, Kamara, and Lat Murray. The only mistake you can make is not cuffing that cuff to your starter, which is pretty hard to mess up because all of those guys have a really reasonable ADP, one that you need to reach for, one you need to get to know. You need to get to know that ADP, keep it nearby, understand it, live and breathe it, so that when time comes to draft and you get yourself into a Dalvin Cook at 1.2 or 1.3, you get yourself a CMC at 1.1. You're lucky enough to get that 1.1 pick, that beautiful pick that gets you that easiest, most likely to dominate your league lineup. You get to know that ADP and you jump on that player, that handcuff, around earlier than you should, because you better be darn certain you cuff your elite running back to his super handcuff. If you missed the boat on this one, it's your own fault. So all things being equal, let's say that Mike Davis does stay in Carolina. Why do I like McCaffrey better? McCaffrey is elite whenever he's on the field. Even if we take a look at only his 2020 game log where he disappointed everybody. The season people think McCaffrey completely fell off the face of the earth, right? Week 1, 97, 2 TDs, caught 3 passes for 38 yards. Week 2, Tampa Bay, 59 rushing, 2 TDs, 4 for 29. Then he sits out until week 9. Comes back, he's going to be rusty and he's going to be limited, right? No, 18 totes, 69 yards rushing, 1 TD, 10 receptions. I need both of my hands to emphasize that. Look, I'm using both hands. 10 receptions, 82 yards and 1 TD. You only have injury to go with. You have no decline argument if you're trying to say that McCaffrey declined. McCaffrey's on the decline. Watch out. McCaffrey proved it. He's lost a step. No. 23 rushes in week 1, 18 in week 2, 18 in week 9. Volumes there, efficiency there, touchdown production present. 6 TDs in 3 games. If you're worried about McCaffrey scoring 6 TDs in 3 games in a season where people think he dropped off the face of the earth, I don't think you're paying attention. Now, I look at McCaffrey's injury-riddled 2020 season like I look at Alvin Kamara's 2019 injury-riddled season. And those people that took that 2019 hampered year, small injuries, and took all that and predicted a decline in 2020, they were extremely disappointed in 2020 when they passed on Alvin Kamara and he tore it up all year long. McCaffrey's injuries in 2020 don't concern me any more than Kamara's injuries concern me coming out of 2019. So assuming Mike Davis is there, you cuff the two, and together you have 16 starts in your running back one that will get you the 1.1 overall value pretty easily, I think. Now, I think Dalvin Cook is a really close number 2 because of Alexander Mattison. I love Alexander Mattison more than I like Mike Davis. I love him more than I like Lat Murray. Everybody jumped off the Alexander Mattison wagon when he came in mid-season. When Cook did miss his one game in 2020, Mattison came in and crapped the bed. Not his fault. I've seen Mattison play and carry the football plenty to know that it wasn't his fault. I knew it wasn't his fault. People cut him. I can't tell you the amount of he's garbage comments I read that week. What's Mattison doing week 17 though? 95 yards rushing, 1 TD, 3 catches, 50 yards and 1 score. Mattison's back in everyone's good graces after 1 week 17 outing. Don't expect him to be a free agent in 2021 or a last round grab, but I think you can get him like you got him last year. We're talking 9th round, 8th round, 10th round, 12th round. Depending on how crafty your fantasy football league is, we're probably looking at 9 to 12 round range. And some people will say, I'm not drafting a backup running back. I don't draft my players assuming the person in front has to get hurt. That's fine. Hold our beers. We'll take Alexander Mattison in leagues where we don't even own Dalvin Cook because we know what Mattison can do if he gets in there. He's a league winner. He's no guarantee to get a single start, but if he does, he's a league winner. So know that if you're not drafting, let's say you don't even have a top 3 overall pick, make sure you're the guy that gets Mattison and you hold your hand up and you go, Smitty! But it's because of Alexander Mattison, the potential that guy has if he's in the starting lineup to duplicate or get really close to Dalvin Cook-like numbers. It's that reason why Cook and Mattison together are my 1.2. The assumption that you're taking Mattison and you're reaching what? A whole round early, Bill. Don't disappoint me, Bill. And that leaves us with Kamara and Lat Murray. I was talking to Alex Cruz, one of my longtime followers on the YouTube channel, on our exclusive Zoom call, which you can be a part of if you just click that blue join button on my main YouTube channel. Join the exclusive group. We do 2 Zoom calls a week. We were on a Zoom call and we were talking about this today, and we said the difference between Cook at 1.2 and Kamara at 1.2 is splitting hairs. It really is that close. I think McCaffrey is 1.1 locked and loaded. Not another tier, but a top of the tier for sure, especially if Mike Davis is there. But then it's splitting hairs between Kamara and Cook, and because of Mattison, I vault Cook ahead. So my top 3 overall: McCaffrey, Cook, Kamara, with the assumption that the backup is cuffed to every one of these guys. Now, what happens if Mike Davis doesn't return to Carolina? The Seahawks are reportedly kind of interested in Mike Davis. Money could talk. A team could go a knocking, but my thinking here, there are enough teams that don't need a running back to the degree they're willing to pay a free agent, a guy looking to get a payday like Mike Davis. There's enough rookies in this player pool in 2021, the rookie running back class, to fill those voids cheaper. So I think ultimately Mike Davis finds his way home, but even if he doesn't, it maybe drops McCaffrey from the top of that bucket, but still a little bit above Cook and Mattison together, a little bit above Alvin Kamara and Lat Murray together. But it certainly moves the meter a little bit to know that you only have Christian McCaffrey. You no longer have Mike Davis. But keep an eye out for what rookie the Carolina Panthers would then draft, because what if they land Hubbard? Not a move I'd love for Hubbard initially. You could cuff him pretty easily to CMC. My point being that if a pretty decent name running back lands in Carolina to back up McCaffrey, we got that Mike Davis-like security already, and we're back to super handcuffing Christian McCaffrey. And now we've got a new starter Mike Davis floating around fantasy football worlds, which would be kind of cool too. Add another running back to the mix. But I do think that no matter what, McCaffrey's probably going to have a really, really, really good backup behind him, making him the clear 1.1. If you feel differently, comment below, subscribe. If you're new, tell your grandma, tell your friends, tell everybody about the Fantasy Football Show, and get on over to Smitty1.com, which has all of the links, my social handles, my podcast link, this link, my SleeperU.com link, which is my news wire. Get your fantasy football news from me. Dynasty, redraft, every single piece of news I have has both mixed right in to the take. Tell me who your 1.1 is below in the comments. Go.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Top 5 running back.
You're watching the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty.